I just wanted to talk about this because it seems appropriate. Should you wait to pay on your student loans? Should you be paying for them now while they're still in forbearance? Should you be saving money to pay on them when the forbearance ends? There's so much confusion. Let's get into it. We all know the system is broken. You're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. You want a mortgage. They're going to be giving your credit score the hairy eyeball. They're going to be giving your income over the last several years the hairy eyeball. They're going to be limiting the amount that they think that you can pay. If you're 18, 19, 20, oh, you need student loans? Take all you want. Take all you want. It's no big deal. Doesn't matter. You have no credit history, no payment history, and at 18, no job or income history. It doesn't matter. Take all you need. And then we're going to charge you more in interest than those mortgage rates that you're not going to be able to get later on in life, by the way. But that's fine. Take all you need. Yes, the pandemic sucked. It was terrible. I absolutely wish it never happened, as I'm sure so many people have. But as far as my student loans go, it has been such a blessing to get that 0% interest. And I hope that you all have been taking advantage of it. My monthly payment was a little over $700 before the forbearance. If I had still continued to pay that $700 a month over the last 2 years, that would have knocked out my outstanding compounding interest on my student loans. So I really hope that other people saw it in the same way. For example, in 2020, when just in those first, January, February, March, I paid $14,307 towards my student loans. And my balance went down by $11,455, which is a vast improvement over the years prior. And then, of course, in 2021, if you guys have been following my story, I put $25,200 down. That went entirely, the balance went down by $25,200, which is amazing. And yes, $7,670 something dollars of that was outstanding interest. So it's still up till 21 paying outstanding interest. But now it's gone. I don't have, whenever this forbearance ends and they decide to reinstate payments, maybe reinstate interest rates, whatever they plan to do, I don't have to start from already 20 steps behind. And I hope that is the same case for many of you. Now, I think we should touch on the topic of forgiveness, because I know there's probably a lot of people waiting and or counting on forgiveness. Well, I don't know if you guys remember several years back. I don't even know how many years back now. It doesn't matter. But when they first instated the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, they said, okay, 10 years, if you make all of your payments on time for 10 years and you work for a qualifying employer that whole time, which public service is federal, state, local, county government, or some qualifying nonprofit or nursing, teaching, etc., and you recertify that you work for that employer every single year, we'll forgive your loans after 10 years. Well, from the day that was instated, 10 years later, when all these people that were counting on public service loan forgiveness came, time for them to say, hey, it's been 10 years, I've made all my payments, I've done all the right things. 98% were denied their loan forgiveness and are still now paying for those loans. I actually scripted out a phone call that I called Fed Loan Servicing multiple times to talk to multiple different people because I was skeptical. And I said, what is up with this? I am on this program and I am now nervous that I'm going to get denied. Why are all these people getting denied? And every time I talked to them, it was, you're fine. Your loans, you will not be denied. Your loans are fine. Why all of these people got denied is because somewhere along the way in that 10 years, they consolidated or refinanced. That was the bulk of what disqualified, or not even disqualified, but the bulk of the people on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program either recertified or consolidated in that 10 years, not knowing that reset their 10-year clock. Because when they did that, whoever they spoke with on the phone, whoever they went through that process with, didn't alert them and say, hey, by the way, and maybe those people didn't know, I don't know. But let's be honest, who reads fine print? Was it in the fine print? I have no idea. Obviously, I haven't been through it, but consolidating and refinancing were huge tripping points, I guess you could say, for all of those people that thought they were going to get their loans forgiven. And if you guys remember, to the start of the pandemic, or to the start of even Biden's time in office right now, that is one of the changes he wants to implement with student loans as a whole, is a more encompassing public service loan forgiveness program, and kind of, taking back some of the stipulations that are on that program currently, so all of those people that did put in their 10 years can maybe see some forgiveness because they weren't aware that consolidation or refinancing disqualified them. And I also heard mentioned that maybe he is going to give partial forgiveness, for a portion of forgiveness based on time served in public service, which I'm still hopeful for, because that would qualify me for about a year and a half of time and service forgiveness, whatever that would equate to for my balance. And will it happen? I don't know, but we heard rumors about that, 2 years ago now almost, and we're still waiting. Why is that? Well, you guys know, it's an act of Congress is like the butt of so many jokes, or the punchline of so many jokes. And so to really, especially for those who are expecting like full-fledged blanket forgiveness for everybody, I wouldn't really count on that. Certainly not anytime soon, because that has to be an actual act of Congress, which, again, who knows how long we'd be waiting around for that. Hopefully I'm wrong. For your sake, for my sake, but at the same time, I don't know if y'all know, but the federal government's balance sheet, right? Your assets versus your liabilities. Student loan debt is the biggest asset that our federal government has on their federal or financial balance sheet, because they are counting on all of us paying back our student loans. They're not just going to wipe away or give away their biggest financial asset of this country. I can't imagine in what world, what circumstance that would happen. Even if they did, if we think inflation is bad right now, just think about what inflation and taxes would look like if the government decided to just wipe away the largest asset on their financial balance sheet. I don't think that we want that. I don't know, could be wrong, but the economic outfall of that, I don't know. So whether you're pro-forgiveness, not pro-forgiveness, and I understand, I'm not even taking into account, I know that there are racial disparities, gender disparities among those student loan borrowers and the borrowers that hold the bulk of the debt. And I know that wiping away that slate would really even out some of the disparities that we have in this country. But whether it's even feasible or even a good idea for the economy as a whole, who can say, right? Certainly not me. I don't freaking know. I'm just saying, there's so many aspects of it that need to be taken into consideration. Let me know in the comments, what's your opinion on that? This is such a hot topic, so I have no doubt that there's going to be debate. There always will be debate on this topic until something's actually done. And even then, it's going to be people are pissed, people are happy, whatever. It's just how life is. That's how humans are when you have an opinion. So I think ultimately the decision to pay your student loans now while we're in forbearance, or wait for the forbearance to end, kind of wait it out, see what happens, is just ultimately whatever you're comfortable with. Some people might want to just pay them. Maybe you have a lower balance and you just it's just the last $10,000, $20,000 hanging over your head, and you just want it gone, just to be done, be free, move on with your life. Absolutely. Or if you just want to wait and see, maybe they'll forgive $10,000, maybe they'll forgive $50,000, maybe they'll forgive it all. Certainly, I can understand that too. I am one of those who is just holding on to my money during the forbearance and just saving it up. I'm saving way more than what my monthly payment was. That's because when I got this job in 2018, I was I got rid of all my credit card debt and all my smaller but more higher interest debts first, all my private student loans. And then in 2019 and 2020, start of 2020, I moved on to my big federal student loan balance, which is where I'm at now. And I've slowly been trying to debt snowball those, but I've just been saving now that we're in forbearance. And the money is growing like pennies a month, so it's cool, whatever. But when I do hear that the forbearance will be over, I will dump all of that money on my student loans. And really, I hope a lot of people are doing the same. I am holding it personally because it's also acting as my pseudo emergency fund in the meantime, just because I did have an emergency fund of 6 months ish of expenses. But then I bought a rental property last year that needed that whole emergency fund. So I'm slowly building that back up, and just I have my student loan savings if something were to happen in the meantime. And that's what I feel comfortable with. So finances are hugely about comfort level. So obviously do whatever you feel comfortable with doing. But I just want to reiterate, I hope you've been taking advantage of this 0% interest, zero payment time, if possible. So really, what is the end result of all this? Well, again, there's no way to predict what's going to happen or what could be the financial outfall of your own home or the whole country, regardless of whatever decision the White House or Congress or whoever decides to make about student loans. I think still, hands down, I know I've said it 100 times this video, but the best thing you can do is take advantage of this time in forbearance as much as you can for as long as you can. And really, I think overall, if you have been diligent with yourself during this time and not been one of those people that's just been like, oh, extra money, I'm going to go spend it elsewhere, or rack up more credit elsewhere, or something scary like that. If you've been diligent and able to stick to your guns and continue to put that monthly payment aside in a savings account or even towards your loans, if you've been fortunate enough to have kept your job this whole time and kept a stable income and were able to get by, if you had put in the good financial habits during those 2 years, or better yet, kept the good financial habits over these last 2 years, instead of just seeing that extra monthly money and blowing it elsewhere, that is going to pay off hugely for you in the future, just in so many ways. Just having good financial habits is just a good thing to have for the rest of your life. And I definitely think that's going to play out in your favor every time versus, putting your financial future in someone else's hands, like the government or whoever. Like I've said in videos prior, this whole channel is predicated on me and my student loan journey, but I take full responsibility for taking out all those loans, even though feel like a dumbass now. Looking back, at the time, I didn't even think about it, and that's unfortunate, but it is what they barely even questioned me when I was up over 6 figures. Like, you want more? I was like, yeah, kind of. Oh, okay. I'm just as mad as I can be at myself for being in that situation. I can't be mad at them either, because yes, I had Navient student loans. They were one of my private student loans I paid off back in 2018, but I don't know. I feel like higher education is predatory on the whole, and I'm probably going to do a video about that in the future, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that signed on the lines, and I'm the one ultimately responsible for this balance that I now carry. Is it bullshit, the interest rates that they've had and the amount that the balance went up year after year, and the amount that I paid to see such a small decrease in my balance? That's bullshit. Should it be higher than a mortgage? Fuck no. The whole point of higher education in this country was to foster an economy that was going to be stronger because we were smarter and able to hold higher paying jobs and therefore be able to spend more money back into the economy, and just a circular building a stronger economy. And instead we took it too far. We crippled a whole generation, and now now we're suffering. They're suffering because of student loan debt, and I don't think it's right. It should have never happened, but it did, and I'm part of that. I'm a player in the game, but I just really hope that overall, not only learning from this on an individual level, word of mouth, hey, I did this back when I was 18, don't let this happen to you, but as a whole, as a country, as an economy, as a world, I hope that we learn that something is broken here in the system, and we can't let this continue to happen to generations to come. Ever again. We should never be in this financial situation with student loans ever again, because it's just bullshit. The point of it was to strengthen our economy, and we did just the opposite. And it's just not a way to go. And I get there's ebb and flows, there's got to be ups and downs, but we just can't let this ever happen again. So, as I've always said, by sharing my story, I hope younger people see it and are like, damn, I don't want that to be me. So all I'm ever trying to do is share my story to help other people learn from it. Hopefully make better choices because of it. That's okay. If that's at my expense, I'm all for it. But either way, I wish you all the best financially. I wish our whole country, the whole world, the best financially. I hope we find the most peaceful way out of this situation, and maybe they'll end the forbearance one day and just leave the interest at zero. That would be amazing. But then again, I don't know the economic outfall of that kind of situation either, and we never will, right? But anyway, I have rambled on long enough, so I'm going to end this right here. If you guys are curious at all about my whole debt journey, you can check out this video right here. Thank you all so much for watching. It means a ton, and I will see you in the next video.